only 1 minute.
Hi everyone, I'm live. Can you just let me know that you're there? I thought I'd log on a couple of minutes early today just to see if I can catch anybody a bit earlier. Just leave me a comment if you can see me or hear me. Hi Celia, can you hear me okay? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't switched the screen on yet. I was just waiting to see if you could actually see me. Okay. There we go. Hi Thea. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me, Celia. We'll just wait a couple of minutes for everyone to catch up. Hi Kelly. Hello Maz. You should be able to see me now. I think there's a delay between you and me. I'm just trying to see. Facebook have been messing around in the group, and or what they've done is they've changed group settings, and you can no longer stream live into the group. You have to do it. Gosh, I think my Facebook thing's all. think it's on pause. I'm going to shut that down. Yeah, so I don't think I'm actually streaming in the group. I'm sorry, but I can't. I have tried, I set it up today. There is a workaround for it. Facebook no longer want us streaming live into the groups. I don't know what has possessed them to take that feature away. But yeah, it's really annoying. So I did find a workaround today, but clearly it hasn't worked. So it wasn't a workaround, it was a stupid around. So thank you all for joining me. Hello, Jacqueline. And we'll just wait a couple more minutes for a few more people to join us. How are you all? It's been a lovely day here today. In fact, it's been one of those days where you're very hot and cold all day and I can't make my mind up. I think I've changed 4 times today. So I don't know what's going on. So what have you all been up to? Are you crafting? Are you crafting along with me? We need to schedule a stamp soup week. Maybe what we do is not next week, but maybe the following week we do a stamp soup. So I will, tomorrow I'm going to write it down so I don't forget that tomorrow I will decide which set we'll use and then I'll email. So make sure you subscribed or I'll put it in the group. I'll email around. Got the roof down. Look at you. Blew away the cobwebs. I must admit, I did actually venture out today as far as the doctors. But we did get a pie on the way back and sat by the, we have a little beck that's, well, it's quite a big beck actually in the next village. And so we went and sat and watched the ducks on the beck just for 10 minutes whilst we had a sandwich and a pie, and that was it. And then it was back nose to the grindstone. So these lives come round so quickly. I almost forgot today. It was only because Chris said, what time are you going live tonight? And I kind of went, oh yeah, forgot all about it. So if I'm a bit unprepared, you know why. Oh, Thea, you've just bought 2 sets. Okay, cool. Well, the thing is, even if we do a session with a set, you can always try and kind of follow it or do your own version with a different set. So it's not about making you buy the actual set that I'm using. Obviously, it would be easier, but generally you should pretty much, the whole thing about stamp soup is that you can kind of pretty much make anything. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah, so let's do it not next week because I kind of have a plan for what we're going to do next week, but the following week for sure, let's do it. So the last, in fact, it's next week's the 31st of it, 30, so it's the 1st of May. So it'll be the 8th of May we'll make it. So we'll definitely do stamp soup then. Right, okay, anyway, time is getting on, so let's make a start. So, I know last week I went through all the storage and everything, which has been, you've absolutely loved the storage, which is fantastic. Thanks so much to everyone that's been ordering because you've wiped us out, and apart from what's behind me, we're pretty much kind of wiped out. So we've got a reorder coming in. So it's coming in beginning of next week, so it's not too long to wait. We've completely sold out of the large boxes and all the large storage. So, but you can still order it online because I knew that we'd be able to get a quick reorder in from the States. But thank you for making it such a good success. And I've had some amazing views from people that have already got theirs that are absolutely loving it. And one of the, I can't remember who it was today. Oh, it was Doreen. And if you're watching, Doreen, thank you just for the feedback. And she said it's everything that I said it was and more. And she couldn't understand why I was raving about it so much, because the quality is just phenomenal. You know, it's really sturdy. You can literally, you know, store hundreds of stamps in those boxes. I don't know if 100, maybe that might be, I don't know. I need to get 100 stamps and see if I can put them in, but I think I probably can, because stamps are very small, you know, very thin. So I bet we can do that. But yeah, just if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out, watch the video. There's a couple of videos on there so you can see what we're raving about, and you're going to absolutely love it. Obviously last week as well, I showed you the layering stamps with the calligraphy masks. Now, I don't like doing the same thing twice, but this morning I was kind of, when I knew I had to do a live, I was kind of like, oh, right, okay. But I have actually all week been dying to try a couple of different things, and I've kind of had in my head a technique that I wanted to kind of show you, to have a go at. So I am going to do the layering stamps again, but today we're going to use the actual Christmas one, although it doesn't have to be Christmas anyway. So I mean, we called it winter, what do we call it? Winter Botanicals. But it doesn't actually have to be for winter. All you've got to do is switch the colours. So if we have time, I'll try and switch the colours at the end as well, and we'll do 2 versions if we can. So I'm going to flick over to the camera and we'll get started. So where are we? Okay, make sure it works. Yes, it does. Okay, so if you were not watching last week and you've not been on the website, etc., then oh, let me just check. I'm not sure I'm on the right camera. Is it that one? No, that's that one. Okay, I must be on the right camera. Bear with me. Oh, everything's on a bit go slow today. Sorry. So if you didn't join me last week, and I apologise if you've already seen it, I apologise. There's always people that haven't seen things. Just need to make that a little bit more in focus if I can. If it'll go, there you go. So we have these lovely stamps. Let me just grab them, get a new packet. So this is what I'm talking about. So we've got these great new stamps, which are from our Squirrel and Vine brand. So we've got the wildflowers, and these are actually layering stamps, and you're going to be able to do watercolor effects with these really, really easily. So last week I used the wildflower set, and we created some beautiful effects. And we actually did this project with it. So these are all the stamps that I've used here. Don't know if you can see it on screen because of the lighting, but there is a slight metallic on there where I actually just threw some metallic paint on. But you're going to be able to create that with the wildflowers. And then you have to bear with me because I actually don't feel quite 100%. So if I'm a little bit, if I sound like I'm not with it, I'm probably not. Hi Carol, found us at last. I know, sorry, if you were looking in the group, I can no longer stream into the group. And then Facebook, I was going to post a link, but then Facebook crashed on me just as I was going live, so I've had to quit it. So this is the actual Christmas set. So this is called the Winter Layered Botanicals. And you can see when you kind of compare them, there are winter things in here. So there's winter foliage like your pine needles and things. And there are stamps that are specifically created to be poinsettias. And there's holly in here as well. But other than those, and even the poinsettias, if you just stamp those in a different colour, if you did them in pinks or yellows and oranges, they would just look like normal flowers. So you can use them both together. And I just really wanted to show you some different ways of actually using these. You guys have loved these this week. And if any of you have already got these and have been using them, please let us know in the comments and tell us some of the things you've been doing, because these have flown out. This has been the product of the week, and you've been buying the packs on their own as well, but obviously most of you have been buying them with the stamps. Hi Judy, thanks for joining us. So we've got Maz and Judy, who are both from the design team tonight. So they're actually all designed, these three products are all designed to work together. So let me get on, and I'm sorry, like I said, I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I'm not quite with it. So these are called the Adorned Calligraphy masks, and you might be able to see better from the packaging if I show you this. So basically you're going to get sheets, and they're big sheets, the big A4 8.5 by 11, in fact they're bigger than 8.5 by 11 I think. You'd get in 24 sheets, and each sheet has loads of letters on it, as you can see here on the mock-up. And you can see here, if I just show you that in the light, you can see how many different letters are on each sheet, and some sheets have more. So you get 6 different sheets with multiple letters on each sheet, and each letter is in 3 sizes. I think the only one maybe that isn't, it might be like XYZ. So what you do, these are actually repositionable. So this is a mask. So it's paper, and you can see here I've been kind of pulling this one on and off and on and off. So they're paper, but they're repositionable, so you can actually peel it right off the sheet, and then you can just stick it back down again, and they're reusable. Now, they have been tested, and the factory said that they got about 20 times out of the usage, but it depends how careful you are, and it depends on whether you ink over them or not, because they are made of paper. So because they're a paper construction, obviously, you know, they will get tatty the more that you use them. So just be really gentle when you're taking them off. I'm a little bit rough with mine, I must confess. Now, as I said, you get 6 different sheets that have different numbers on to give you the full alphabet, but you get 4 of each of those sheets. So what I did today was let me show you one that's less scruffy. It's offending me that it's that, and I'm sorry about the light, I just can't really make them show up anymore. So I went through my sheets and sorted them out, because last week when I was flicking around, and you know, you will do this, you're trying to find the right letters. So what I did, those ones are upside down, was I just quickly went through and just wrote on the top which letters are on which sheet, and some of them are on more than one sheet, because it's just how I have to fit it on for it to be most economical. So that we weren't charging you for 24 different sheets, because these are die cut letters, so they are expensive for us to make and produce. But you can see on these sheets at the back here, you've got RSTU, VW, XYZ, and that's because XYZ, there are less letters of those 3 on there. There aren't numbers. This is actually about calligraphy. So basically you're just going to peel them all off. So we've got 1 inch here, we've got a 2 inch, and then you've got a 3 inch, big 3 inch letter here. So the whole point of this was that we wanted you to be able to create these amazing calligraphy effects, and that's how you can then create something like this. Now I love it. Basically what we did to create this, let's just get on and make it rather than telling you. What we did to create this was we took the letter N and just pressed it down onto the paper, and then I just very softly buffed over the top with a little bit of distress ink. And just before I started doing anything, just very soft. You actually need less than you think. It's like when you have a stencil, and in a way, I mean, that's why we call them masks, because they are literally like the opposite of a stencil. So there's no sticker on here. We actually peeled it off and we've reused it. And just to show you, this was the actual sticker that I used. Now, you might get creases if you get them very wet with your ink, if you put a lot of ink on, which I did, you know, you may find that you know, it might just kind of be a bit more difficult to actually peel away. What I would say now, from using them a few times, is just don't be impatient. I'm very impatient, and obviously because I'm doing a live as well, you know, I have to peel it back straight away. But normally what I would do is I would let all this ink dry and just make sure that I know it's dry. Now, I said last week, I've got to just tell you something. I said last week to actually, excuse me, to dry it off with your heat gun. I wouldn't actually recommend that. I was thinking about it today when I was playing earlier, and because if you heat these up, it's got glue on the back and it's likely to make it more difficult to actually lift, which is why this one tore. I couldn't understand last week why I was having so many problems tearing it, and it's because I was heating it. So obviously it softens the glue and then it just becomes more difficult. So just let it dry naturally. It will, you know, because it's not destroying the glue on the back then. Anyway, let's get on. So I wanted to do, we're coming up to, you know, it'll soon be time to start those Christmas cards, and I think some of you already are. So I thought we'd have a bit of a go. So let me just get prepared. I'm going to leave those there because that's I want to refer to that. So I want to use, let me grab some paper first of all. And what I would recommend, I don't actually have a card blank here. I forgot to do that. Just pretend this is actually a card blank, because if you don't, then you can easily get carried away and make something that's way too big for a card. And I mean, you can still send it, but if you're being conscious about postage costs, which let's face it, at Christmas we all are, then you know you kind of want to restrict, maybe restrict the size. Now you can see here I took a letter out earlier and I haven't put it back, and I'll show you why later. So I am gonna pick out a J again. So I want to do the word joy. Okay, so all you need to do is just get your nail or a pokey tool just under the letter. Oh gosh, where's my pokey tool? Bear with me. Now just bend, all you need to do is just bend the sheet back and it'll just release. Look, I mean they're die cut perfectly, so you know they have to stick so that they don't fall off all the time. Now originally the very first thing I thought of, let me just put this down, so I'm just going to stick the J here just so that I don't lose it. Now originally when I first got these, I thought, right, it would be much easier if I then just peel the backing sheet off and just leave the letters behind, which yes you could do, but I personally wouldn't. Normally I would, and on any of the sticker sheets that's what I do, but I actually wouldn't on these, because you really want to see where to put your sticker back, and when you put it back within kind of its place, it just protects the edges. So you know, like if I did do it on a sheet and it wasn't good, so I would leave all the way, I'm talking about the waist here, I would leave the waist in place. I think you'll do fare better if it's still there. So I'm just gonna kind of get the O. Now this sheet's got O's on, but it's the massive sheet, so I don't want the O's from that sheet because they're too big. So I'm going to go to my next one, and this is why I love that I've done this and actually written the letters on, because I know exactly what letters are on. So again, I did test this earlier, so I'm just going to peel that off and we'll just stick that there, come back to it in a minute, and I'm just going to go grab my Y's. So have I got another small Y on that sheet? No, I don't. So I've got less Y's. So if you're going to use Y, I've got less Y's. Yes, I have got less Y's as I've got older for sure. So if you're going to use a letter there's less of, and it's purely because I designed these sheets and I had to kind of make a decision on which size letters. You have got extra wise, but they're the bigger ones, so you've only got one small one. And I had to make the decision of how many of those are you seriously going to use? And the only thing I could think of was if your name was Y, you'd probably use a larger one. And also, you know, it's just letters that you're not going to use that much. So I'm going to put these away for now. And then what we're going to do is let's just line these up. So I'm just going to grab my magnetic ruler here. So let's just put that there. So I'm going to find the centre of my card roughly. Gosh, I love this. I do love this ruler, honestly, it's amazing. So that's the centre there. And I'm 8 1/4, so I want to be, this is actually the middle. So I'm just going to kind of, and I'm about halfway that way as well. Maybe not, maybe that's about right there. So I'm just going to position now. The O, let me see. Let's put that there. Okay. So I'm just going to do the O. So I was putting the Y down and I need the O. I told you I wasn't quite with it. Now, just let them, try and let them find their own. It's a bit like using, you know, a normal sticker. Just try and let them find their own place. You know, like the old peel-off sticker, plastic peel-off stickers we all used to use. I think they're still around. I think some people still use them. Just use your pokey tool and just kind of like try and find where it needs to go and just place it down rather than doing it with your fingers. I think that's actually a better way of doing it. And you can see then I've got a wrinkle, and that's because I've stretched it a little bit. I don't want it to wrinkle. So you do have to be, you know, quite gentle. Just don't be impatient. You know, just kind of have a little bit of patience, and then you'll, you know, you won't ruin, because at the end of the day, we want these to be repositionable and reusable. So we want to be able to use them again. So let's get that one down. I've just got a bit under that one, which is why it's sticking up. So I'm sticking them down well, but I'm not really pressing them down because I do want to get these off again. Hi, Mel. You made it again. How's the little one doing? I hope he's doing okay. Mel was on the design team, but she's left because she's just had a baby. Right, okay. So we're there. So I quite like that. Now, if I wanted, you could actually lay them over each other, and that would be quite cool as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just grab a blending brush, and I want it to be really nice and soft. So I'm going to go with a nice light colour. Earlier on, I actually used, when I was testing it, I actually used speckled egg, but it was a little bit dirty. I didn't want it because it's quite a dirty, muted colour, and I didn't really want it. You know, I was kind of like, after I put it on, I thought, oh, yeah, I wish I'd used peacock as usual. You know what I'm like, guys. I've got to always use this colour. Now, in hindsight, now, I wish I'd actually turned my card this way, and you'll see why. So next time I do this, I am going to do it the other way. Now, that's all I need. I don't want it to be any darker than that. And I'm just going to wipe this away. So, oh, got anything to dry? There we go. Let me get something to dry this off with. So I'm going to grab my stamps. Now I have, just to save a bit of time, because I was using these earlier, I've actually left them all on the acrylic blocks because it'll just save us a bit of time. So you can see here, let me zoom in a little bit. Is that better? So you can see here on the sheets that we've given you a key of how to layer these. So you've got general foliage here, which we've not layered because you don't really need it. But then you've got holly leaves, you've got I forgot about the pine cones, and you know, they've got 3 layers. You can get away with just using 2 layers, to be honest, but you know, it's up to you how you want to do it. And the stamps themselves are a lot bigger than they appear on there. So if you look, you know, this is that poinsettia. It's a lot bigger. It's double the size that it actually shows you on the packaging. But it is handy, so don't get rid of this packaging because you will need it, because it is, you know, when they're all coloured in black on the acrylic, on the acetate, it is quite difficult to kind of see which one's which, really. And some of them are quite similar and some of them are quite ambiguous in the design. So I'm going to leave this here so I can see what I'm actually doing. So the first thing we're going to do, I think, is we will do the poinsettias. So I've already got this on my acrylic block, and what I'm using this week, that I realised last week, because I had, like, if you remember, I had pigment inks, I had dye inks, and I couldn't really decide what I was doing with it, and I wasn't 100%. Now, I don't have loads of coloured inks other than my distress inks. So last week as I was doing it, I was thinking, why didn't I just use my distress inks? So that's what I'm doing. If you do this, what I would suggest is that you also have a bit of scrap paper as well. And what you kind of could do is just do what I called conditioning your stamps. So if you don't know what I mean by that, when you get new stamps, they've gone through a chemical process, and they get washed at the end. So they go through like water and they all get washed and everything, so there's no chemicals on. But as they dry, you still get a bit of a residue. So, you know, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you get a new stamp, let me try, I don't know, which one have I not used here? I don't think I used this one. So when you get a new stamp, and then it's with certain inks, and it's with water-based inks. So for instance, this one, I don't know whether I've used it or not, but I want to show you what I mean. So I'm not going to do it on my project. So you can't see. When you ink, if you can see that the ink isn't like completely covering your stamp, it's like a dappled effect, like a grey, it looks sort of grainy. That's probably because it's a brand new stamp. It's actually not that bad. I think I did use that one. I'm trying to think of one that, I don't think there's one that I didn't use. Anyway, basically what you can do to get around that is just clean your stamp off and then dry it. Or the other really good way to do it is just to put a piece of tape over the top of the stamp and then just peel the tape off, and you'll see, I haven't got any tape with me to do it. You need a bit of sellotape, and you'll see the outline, the mark of the stamp actually come onto the tape, and it kind of looks a bit whitish, and it's because you've kind of taken that residue away. And what you'll find is that if you do that, if a stamp's giving you issues, and you're not getting a really good ink coverage, this isn't a great coverage on this one. Sometimes it can take maybe 2 or 3 goes to actually get rid of that, and it's just the actual residue from the process. Each time I do it, it'll get better, and every time I clean it, it'll get better. You can see it's starting to get better already. But just do it on scrap paper to start with. Okay, so and that's what I found. The reason I'm telling you is because that's what I found earlier. And it's specifically when you're doing it with dye-based stamps like these, or water-based stamps rather. So let's get going. Enough waffling. Well, past already. Crikey. Now the other thing that I've done is I pulled out my swatch chart for my distress inks, and there's oxides and distress on here. I'm not using oxides. You could do if you wanted to. I just kind of feel the oxides are a bit more opaque, and I want that watercolour look. So I don't want to have too much paint on, and I don't want to, I mean, we could flick. Yeah, no, I'm not going to, because I'll have to get all my inks out. But this is my swatch chart, so I can go through and actually easily see which colour I want. So because I want reds, I'm kind of in this here. So I'm going to actually use Abandoned Coral and Festive Berries, I think, because that seemed to work quite well. So I've got them here. Ooh. I'm going to try and be organised so that I don't get mixed up with what I'm doing. So I'm going to use Abandoned Coral, is a bit lighter. Now I know I should really ink from the other way. I'm just going to test it. Now you see how you've got like quite dense ink and then not. That's kind of what I want. So I'm quite happy for it to look like that. So I'm not, this is also why I'm doing it this way rather than turning my stamp up and inking the other way. I mean, you do you, boo, and however you want it to be. So this is quite scary for me, doing stamping in red, because it's not something I would normally do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay that over the top of the mask. And I've got quite a dark red there. Now, I might just do that and then do what we call a second generation stamp instead. And that then, and twist these around, because you don't want them all looking like they're the same way around. But it just enables you to get kind of a lighter, that light and dark kind of effect going on. So we'll do one more. Let's have one here. And we're just going straight over that mask, okay? So now I've actually picked up the next layer, and this time I could go back over with that same colour, but what I want is I want a bit more contrast, so I'm going to go to my Festive Berries, which is a bit of a darker colour. And what I've been doing to do this is I've actually been just testing it on the scrap at the side of me to see if I like the effect. So, you know, that looks really nice when you do it like that. So let's go. Now, it doesn't matter too much if you don't line these up perfectly. So don't get hung up about it. Nobody else is going to know that you didn't line this stamp up correctly, because all you want is it just to look like it's kind of being painted. So, you know, and you can go back over it as well. If you don't get a good impression the first time, go back over. Let's see. And let's go upside down on this one. I think that's where I'm. So just remember, if you rotate it. So you're getting quite a lot of impact just with those two colours there. And then we will need to do the middles. So there are stamps for this. Oh, look. I wonder what was going on there. I thought that's a bit weird. Why is that done? And look, I've stamped on the acetate. I didn't even notice. Let me just go back in with that one. I thought it was a bit weird. Okay, that's better. And then what I'm doing as I'm going along, I must admit, I'm very lucky. I've got loads of acrylic blocks, but I'm kind of keeping them together just so that it's easier. And if you wanted to batch make these, which obviously with Christmas coming up, you might want to batch make, then, you know, just, it's a good way to, you could have 2 or 3 cards on the go at the same time and actually just make them all together at the same time, because you've got enough letters to do that, or you should have. So we have the centres of the poinsettias, so I'm just doing that in mustard seed actually. It's a nice kind of quite an ochre yellow. It's a nice colour. And I'm just getting that colour in the centre. So I don't know if that's actually even the right centre, but anyway, that's how versatile and how forgiving these stamps are, that, you know, you can just kind of keep going with it. Okay, so that's the poinsettias done. Right, so what are we going to do next? Let's do, there's some smaller flowers in here. So we've got this one that's got, gosh, it helps if I show you. We've got this one here, which is kind of more of a petally kind of flower, and we're going to use that one, I think. So I've already got that here somewhere as well. Okay. Oh no, I've got another, yeah, there's another poinsettia we'll use. Where's that flower gone? See, this is what happens if you don't put them back on your sheet. Where have they gone? Do you know, I'm going to put them back on the sheet because I've lost it now. So, and I put a little tiny stamp down. I don't even know where I've put that. Well, I never. Oh, it's there, look. On the, what I did earlier was I put the stamps on the ink colour that I wanted to use. So I wouldn't lose it, and then I lost it. Okay, so we've got the little petally flower. So I'm going to use scattered straw here. I kind of want it to be, you know, quite pale. And I want this to look sort of like a Christmas rose. So I did try it with antique linen, but it just wasn't quite, it was a bit brown. So I wasn't a fan, I must confess. So let's just, and it's just about breaking up those colours. And you can do, don't forget, you can do whatever you want here. If you want like a little bunch of flowers together, you can do that. It's not a problem. You know, you make it how you want it to be. Okay, so I've got vintage photo here, and this is for the centre of that flower. So it comes up quite bright, quite dark. So I'm going to do a second generation stamp on these ones. In fact, I don't, maybe not. Let's just go with it. And again, I'm not particularly being that careful either. And obviously you don't have to layer every single flower if you don't want to. You can, you know, some of them you can get away with not layering. So right now it kind of looks a bit messy, but trust me, it'll be fine. It'll all be fine. And what we could do if we wanted, except I've not done it on watercolour card, but what we could do, let me grab a paintbrush. Let's just get a bit of water and see if it works. So bear in mind, this isn't watercolour card, but we could soften this if we wanted and give us that watercolour effect. Now, having said that, I wouldn't do that at this point if I were you. I just wanted to show you in case anyone was thinking, why doesn't she actually add water? Because we want to be actually stamping this right now. So we'll do that at the end. Before I forget as well, because I forgot to tell you last week, don't forget we've got a giveaway. So before, I'm going to do this now because I forgot. I'm sorry. But we have a giveaway. I think that's the right page. So you can win £25 worth of goodies. So go to the home page and there's a tab here called Win. And if you just go and select on Win, and then you can enter, okay? And it's totally free to enter. My computer's crashed and I can't go back to my camera. Thank you. So make sure that you, at the end, go onto the website and click on that Win tab. It's on the home page, and you can just enter your email in there, and it's a really secure way to enter the competition. Okay, why has that gone blurred? Come on. Camera, come back. What's happened? Let me just try and get that a little bit sharper. I didn't even touch it, so I don't know why it's gone blurred. I don't think my camera likes that better. I think it's just having a moment on the camera. So I'm sorry if you can't see that very. Why is it doing this? Come on. You know, you have like a reactive camera. I think it's kind of like knocked it, so it'll come back, I think. My hands are okay. It's just this is not looking great. Right, anyway, so let's carry on. So let's get some foliage going on here, I think. Actually, before we do that, we do have the other poinsettia. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to go a bit lighter. So we'll go with saltwater taffy. And I must confess, this is the first time I'm using this one. So I'm going to do that on a side. And it's just a bit more pink. It looks very red on there, but it's not. It's quite pink. So we're just building this up. Get them inside the letters as well. It looks really nice when they're inside. And, you know, you can do them in little groups if you want to. Oops. Just make sure if you're doing it the way I'm doing it that you pick the ink up properly. And then there is an inside bit for this as well. So the inside, I'm not going to go festive berries. I'm going to go abandoned coral for this one. So the inside of this one is going to be the same colour as, I'm going to show you how it's looking so far. Because you kind of do it and you know, it kind of looks a bit messy when you first start, but you just have to believe in it and kind of keep going, because it does come back together, honestly. You just have to have that faith. If I just pull that up, you see all the how lovely and layered it looks. Like I said, it looks messy because you're going to peel all these letters off, and it's, you know, it's not cohesive right at the minute. Basically, what's actually missing is the foliage right now. So before I do the foliage, there's one other little thing. On this set here, you have this gorgeous little bird. So we're going to put the bird in before we do anything else, because if not, I will end up not leaving room for him. So I've got my little birdie, and we're going to do the birdie in blues, I think. So I'm going to use speckled egg. So this is the base, and he's got 3 layers. So let's put him on the knot, on the O. Okay. And then I've got salvage patina, and then there's another layer which is actually like his this is his wing. It's kind of his head. Whoops, not that one. I don't want that one. You've got his head and his wing, and that I would do that darker. So I would do that. I'm doing that in the peacock feather. I just need to get over the top and just line that one up properly. Okay. See how you get the head of him there? And then there's also another stamp that's his little chest feathers. And you can go back on, let me see. Just make sure you, this is why it's good to follow the packaging, because sometimes these stamps look a bit random and it's quite difficult to tell which is which. So that one goes on there. You can probably, that's probably one you can get away with not layering if you know, if you wanted to speed yourself up a little bit. But how cute does he look like that? Bless him. Little birdie. And obviously, if you're in the States, you might want to do him in red for a cardinal. He's kind of, you know, quite an ambiguous little bird. I didn't quite line it up properly because I'm trying not to get my head in the way of the camera. Right, let's go to some foliage then. So this is a nice chance to get all your green inks out. Hi Leona, hi Karen. It keeps blurring. I think it's my, let me zoom out a little bit and just see, because I think it's the camera that's reset. And also, I think as well, my internet's not great tonight. Let me see if I can just try and get that a little bit sharper. That's the sharpest it's going to go. So that's that one. Let me go on to the next one. I think it's because it's quite, you know, it's quite soft as well. I think it's because we're moving. I think, you know, like the camera is like reactive with the lens, and I think it's kind of moving. I must reset that. I meant to do it last week and I totally forgot. Right, okay. So I've got numerous little stamps here that are all foliage. So we'll do holly first, I think. We'll start with the holly. So I'm going to go with, I never quite know which colours to go with on holly. So we'll go with some bright ones. And you need to just twist and turn these. You need to make sure you've got plenty on. And also you need to change the colours around as well on the holly, so that they're not all the same colour. Leave yourself some gaps because there's a lot of foliage in this set. You're going to love it. And the foliage is really what makes this pop. So just make sure that you get a good selection, but that you also want to have room for all the other stuff as well, because you'll end up not being able to fit it in otherwise. Let's get some going in there and just twist and turn that holly. And this is where it starts looking a bit messy. So I'm going to swap to a different, so that was Twisted Citron. Evergreen Bough, that's the one I want. Evergreen Bough is a really nice colour. So we'll go, yeah, because it's kind of bluey, like that real nice kind of, I don't know, like a foresty kind of bluey green colour. It's lovely. It's quite dark, that one as well, so it works quite well. So remember, when you're doing this, look, I want to just show you. So you see here, it's not particularly stamped well, but that makes it look watercoloured, and that's the effect that we're trying to get. So don't kind of think, oh no, I've messed that up, it looks terrible. That is what you kind of want to try and achieve. And it's because I've got a nice juicy new ink pad that's happened. But it's lovely, it's a nice effect. And don't worry about going over one stamp. You know, it doesn't matter that you're going over the existing stamps. You can just kind of keep going. I need a bit in there. So, you know, try and make it quite balanced. And then let's grab something else. So we've got here, we've got two different sets of holly. So there's like a little sprig, and then there's the actual holly that I was just stamping there. So there's a centerpiece of the holly, which is this one. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to go in a darker colour because we've got quite dark in some of that now. Now, this is where you kind of need to just match it. Oh, lovely. Can you see that? And just, I've been turning these upside down, but I'm not too worried. I'm not going to, you know, sweat because they're not perfectly lined up. It just makes it look like there's two leaves together, to be honest. So let's get some more. And this is just kind of like an outer edge. So, you know, you have the variegation on your holly leaves. That's what this one's going to give you. Or you could also, that one's upside down. You could also just do this one on its own as well. And don't forget to do this on the lighter ones that we just did as well. But you could, if you wanted, let's see, could just do that one there. So it looks like it's in the background, really nice and soft. It's so forgiving. It just, you know, there's no right or wrong of doing this. In fact, I'm doing a lot of these upside down. And if you don't want them all to have that variegated effect, then you don't have to. It's your, at the end of the day, it's your stamping. Do it how you want. I do like that effect. I must confess. So let's just do that one. I've got a couple more there. You're all very quiet tonight. No lots of questions. So here we've got the, this is the, what do you call them? Well, it's like a fir tree kind of thing. Fir tree kind of thing, you know what I mean? I told you I can't, my words aren't going to come tonight. I'm feeling a bit not quite there. Anyway, so I'm going to be a little bit, I don't want to do too much with this one because it's quite a big stamp. So we'll just fill in some gaps. And then we've got the holly as well. And I'm going to go back to the evergreen bough for this little sprigs of holly, because this one just kind of makes it pop a little bit. And it's good because you're getting 3 different sets of holly there with that one. So remember, you start to lose like where your letters are a little bit, but it's okay. Just kind of like try and pick your letters back up again. And it all works fine and hunky-dory. What else have we got in here? You can see how quickly it's built up. Yeah, we've got some little tiny sprigs. Little tiny. Now I need a different colour. Let's go to crushed olive. So really change, hopefully you've all got different colour greens. Really try and change your ink colours, because that's kind of what makes it look a bit more authentic. And oh, actually I should do those in red. They're like little berries. Let's get festive berries and do those in red. So we've got green ones and red ones. Yeah, look, they go on top of the holly, look. Let me do. Oh, they look nice. Oh, that looks really nice. I didn't do that on the other one. I need to get a move on. You see, you get very carried away. It's very, very addictive, this type of stamping. Okay. I just want a couple more little bits on. I lost my, there's like some pine needles somewhere. Where have I put them? Maybe not. There's like a bushy, you know, there's all sorts of different things that you can use. So go back to this colour. That's it, that's the one I wanted. So just, I'm nearly done. I just want to finish. Don't worry if you kind of get a little bit of ink. I mean, this is kind of like looking, you know, if you were just coming into this video and didn't have a clue what I was doing, you'd literally would think, what a mess. But you've just got to be patient and wait for the reveal. Okay, so I think we'll kind of leave it at that point now. So let me just put my ink pad colours back to my crushed olive. Put all my lids back on my ink pads because I've got a fan on in here and it'll, what colour's that? Rustic Wilderness. What's that one? Oops. I've tried to be really organised. There is, that's it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, pokey tool. And it does look better in real life, honestly. I think it doesn't help with the bright lights. Okay, so you literally wouldn't know there was even anything there. So we're going to come in with our poke. In fact, I'm not going to use my poker tool. I'm just going to use my fingernail and bend your card back. Now, what you've got to remember at this point, and this is what I was saying at the beginning, this is quite damp. I can feel it. I can feel the dampness of the ink. So it's going to make your stickers a little bit damp as well. And I just love doing this reveal. So just gently does it. Look, I've just pulled too hard, and it's because I'm doing this in real time, and I would have left it to a side. Let me grab some paper. So I want to just put, that's from last week. Oh. Let me use it. I can't get another piece of paper. So I just want to put this sticker down. Look how lovely the actual sticker itself is, the actual mask. So if you want, you know, you can actually use this as well. I mean, this is just lovely. So it's kind of a shame not to use it in that form, if you like. But like I say, you can reuse it if you want to and just go over it again. So I'm going to be ultra careful this time. Let me just open that. So it's because I've wet them. And don't forget, I did sprinkle water on as well, which didn't help well. Come on, Nikky. I'm a bit fingers and thumbs. So just, if you can't get your fingernail under it, just do your pokey tool, get your pokey tool under it and just ease it off. That's better. Like I said, don't be impatient. And, you know, these can go straight back on the sheet as well, if you're going to reuse it. So just try and get into a corner or onto an end bit. And if you crinkle it, try and get the wrinkle out as well while you go. And just be careful. It's just like using your die cuts, really, because that's pretty much what they are. They're just a self-adhesive die cut, and they are paper. So now this is what we have, which is just lovely. So, and it does look, I must confess, it looks much nicer in real life. It looks very, very, doesn't look like there's much contrast, but there's a lot of pink in here rather than red. And then look what happens with the sticker. So if you wanted to now, you know, you have another card here ready to go. And you could literally stencil underneath that, or put colour under, you know, blend some ink underneath that, and actually you've got a card ready made, ready to go with that. It's up to you. They're not designed for that, but it was a bonus when we designed them. We weren't expecting these stickers to turn out so stunning, but they are, obviously, and they're just the negative of or the positive of this. Now, what I wanted to show you was, and this was why I did this, and I had this idea last week when we were on the live, and what I'm going to do is just show you something else you can do with these. So I am going to reuse these. I'm going to get my Versamark, and this is when you can use a really filthy, disgusting ink pad like this. And what I'm going to do, actually, how can I do this? Do you know, I don't know how to do this now. I'm just going to do one letter, I think. So let me get my J. So I'm going to peel my J back off here. I did this on acetate earlier, and it didn't really bode well because my acetate kind of all crinkled and everything. So I'm going to just put my J on. Oops, where's it gone? You can see that even if you tear it, you can still match it up again and it'll be fine. Okay, just set that down. Okay, so I'm just going to get my VersaFine. And I did just press it in last time I did this, but it was a little bit fiddly. I'd do that ordinarily rather than doing it this way if I was doing it for myself, but it is easier doing it this way. And then what I'm going to do, I want a nice, now I don't have many embossing powders. I think I must have thrown them all out when we were moving. So this is an antique gold rather than like a nice bright gold, and I wish I had a bright one. So, but this is an embossing powder. And I'm just going to heat this. So we're going to end up with a metallic letter. And I'm going to heat it. In fact, I'm not going to heat it from underneath. I'll try and let you see it turning. You see it going? Yay, that's what we all love. So on this occasion, don't heat it from underneath, because don't forget we've got glue behind this sticker. So you don't want to kind of like, I mean, I know it's getting warm anyway, but you don't really want your heat gun going directly onto the underneath of the sticker. So there we go. So it looks like it's got bubbles in it. There's a little bubble, but that'll be where the glue's coming undone from the other side. So what I would do then, just let that dry off. In fact, it's done it. It's dry already. So what I would do is I would then go back over it and do it again. And if you can, go back and do it 3 times. And it looks nicer if it's in, I want a brighter, I must get some new embossing powders. I'm going to order some after this. So what I did was, earlier, I did all 3 letters. Okay, and these have had 2 coats of embossing powder. And look how yummy and metallic-y they are. And they're actually quite, you know, kind of putting the embossing powder on actually gives them a bit of integrity as well. So it makes them a little bit more sturdy. And then what you could do is, now I've lost a bit of sticky off the back of my letters. So if I decide to stick these down, I'm going to need to actually put glue on them. So let's do that. I'm going to grab some glue. Because I wanted just to show you a completely different way to have this. Don't know whether, oh, it is working. Okay, I wanted to just show you a different way of doing this. Now I'm going to try not to, it came out on my hand, but it's okay. I'm going to try not to actually get glue everywhere. And one way we could do it, actually, be easier, is to go in and actually fill the letter as well. So your tweezers and your pokey tool are going to be your best friend here. So just press it in. And then I'm just gonna, I've got a lot of ink there, a lot of glue at the bottom, just dab that off. This is just an environmentally friendly baby wipe. Okay. So let's just do now it's up to you whether you want to do the O and the Y. Yeah, I love with and without as well, Mel. It's nice, isn't it? It's just, you know, it's your choice whether you do it or you don't. I just thought it's a nice way of doing the same thing again, but in a completely different way. And with it being Christmas, we kind of needed a little bit of bling at Christmas. So I haven't got any kitchen towel to press on. Where's my cloth gone? Oh, there. I'll just do it with a cloth instead. Okay. And you don't need, you can see you don't need a lot of glue, but you do want to get the ends. So make sure you just, a nice fine tip glue. And just bend, this has got like a little bit bent with heat in it. So just bend it back into shape. This, I have to say as well, this is really satisfying doing this. It's one of those things, you know, where you kind of like actually get pleasure from doing it. It's almost like, you know, you kind of, you know, those videos that you well, for me anyway, you know, where you see those videos of machines and things on production lines, that really floats my boat. I love stuff like that. And this is kind of that, and I think that's already stuck down. So, look, I need a little bit of glue on there, so there you go. So, that makes such an impact. Again, it's something, it does look better here than it does on my screen. So, you know, you do it if you want to do it. You know, it's completely up to you whether you want to do that or not. But I do think it's a really nice effect, and it's come out really well. I'm quite pleased with it. You know, I've still got my J here, don't forget, that I could also use. It would be nice if I'd done a third layer, but I kind of ran out of time, and I don't have a lot of embossing powder either. Now, the other thing that we were talking about, wasn't it, was about, I don't know whether this is going to work or not. Let me just put the top on my glue. I want to use my glue bottle and put my top on my embossing powder. Oh gosh, time. Do you know, time flies, doesn't it? I don't think it's going to work because I've not used watercolour paper. But now that I've put the, now that I've embossed those, I don't mind trying it to get this wet, because they're now not really going to get wet. And yeah, it is a little bit, but it's not, you are, look, can you see how it is bleeding a little bit to give you that watercolour effect? And then, so that's again another technique. So think about doing that, and it would work, like I say, it would work better. Obviously, if you use distress oxides, you're going to get the oxidation coming out as well. But it's definitely softening some of these, some of the colours and things. But it's dried, so if you're going to do that, you kind of do need to be quite quick. This will all dry out. I've got a bumpy cardstock now, but it is going to dry. So, and then like I did last week, you could flick metallic ink on there as well. I've not got them out, so I'm not going to do that. But I just wanted to show you how you could, you know, kind of like do something completely different. And this is actually the one that I did earlier, just to show you that same stamps, and I did use the same stamps, but totally different look. And I actually put a little bit more blue behind this one. So it's up to you which one you like, and which you prefer. You could just put, you know, your J in there. It's entirely up to you. And don't forget that all you have to do with these, and the whole point was, really, it started off with making a monogram, so that you could actually, maybe you've got a friend called Jean, and you could just do a J and decorate the J, and you just have the monogram. And they're stunning. And if you think about it, with the size of these, because these are 3-inch, these are 2, and then you've also got 1-inch letters as well, because we knew that you'd need to work, you know, you don't want to make words. You know, you could just do that as a tag, couldn't you? If you cut that down, look how pretty that would be as like a tag on a present, or like I said, just on a card. Brushes, yes, that would be really nice. Yeah, you see, you can get really creative. I've not used watercolour card. I don't know why, because I fully intended to. Yes, if you had a good metallic pen, I've lost that as well. Since we moved, I literally I've decluttered a lot of my stash. And there's loads of things. This is the thing, isn't it? You declutter the things that you don't use much, and then instantly you wish you had them. So I've got no metallic pens. I seem to have no embossing powders, and I seem to be missing loads and loads of stuff. Now, the other thing that you could do as well, which I was gonna, if I'd have had time, what about getting some glitter going as well? Can you imagine if you actually glittered these letters as well? Oh, that was what I was going to do, actually. So you could have do you know, let's just do that quickly. I wanted to do that earlier. I wanted to see how it came out. So let's just glue this letter. It might not work because I'm doing it on top of embossing, but let's see what happens. Just quickly. Just make sure you don't get glue where it doesn't need to be. Obviously spend a bit more time than I am. If you really fill it like that, that was actually really easy to do. I don't know how I'm going to do this now. God, this is the first glitter that will have seen this new studio carpet. Come on. It's got to be red, hasn't it? Or does it? Oh. Yeah, it's got to be a red sparkle, surely. Yeah, an embossing pen. Yeah, you could definitely do all sorts. Now, this is kind of going to go, this might, remember this is wet. Oh, look. Oh, let me get a brush. Need to brush. Just remember this is all still wet, so my glitter's all sticking. These are just perfect for Christmas. They really are. It's just, I think this is what, I might actually end up making some Christmas cards this year. Normally I'm so busy, and by the time we get to Christmas, I'm so over Christmas. The last thing I want to do is make Christmas cards. So I end up not actually sending cards to a lot of my family. Oh, that's so nice. Oh my God, guys. Honestly. Okay. That's better than doing the metallic. Oh, how nice. Should we do it all like that? I think we need to. Right. I'm going to finish it. You don't need to see me doing all. Do you want to see me doing all 3 letters? I'm going to quickly do them because it was really quick to do. I'm so glad. What I did find was my favourite glue in the world, which is the Art Glitter Glue. And I actually even found a new lid for it and unbunged it all. It had been all bunged up for about, I don't think I've used this glue for about 5 years, if not longer. Okay. You could also, whilst I'm doing this is the other thing that you could do. You could use like your Tonic Nouveau drops on there, or your stickles. You know, you could use your Distress embossing powders. I was eyeing them up earlier thinking, oh yeah, just a bit of Distress. You know, so you could do what I'm doing now, but do it with your Tonic Nouveau drops, and that would look amazing as well. I could do with it. Oh, I think I've got a spoon in here. Oh, a lid. Oh. Oh, so nice. I can't wait for this to dry now. Oh, that's lovely. I'll take a photo of this so you can kind of see it properly tomorrow when it's dry, and put it on the website or put it on social. Because obviously I've still got a lot of glitter in the paint, in the inks. Oh, stunning. Absolutely stunning. Isn't that lovely? Do you know, it would have looked nice as well if I'd just left an edge. I've got a little bit of an edge of the gold around the O, and it would have been nice if I'd have just done that. Wow, you've got to try this, lovelies. Oh my goodness. Different colours, can you imagine? Do you know what would look amazing? Angie, yeah, isn't it amazing? What would look absolutely gorgeous, even better than this, is if you actually did your stamps all in a monochrome effect. So if you just use, say you just did it in all the leaves, do all the leaves in one green, or just, I don't know, let me think. I'm just thinking if you did it all in a monochrome effect with a really pale shade, maybe you did like use the speckled egg or the salvage patina. I bet if you did the whole lot in really muted tones, so say instead of doing your poinsettias in red, if you went speckled egg and patina for all the foliage, and then the actual flowers, if you did that in saltwater taffy and maybe spun sugar, so they were really pale and pared back, and then glittered or did you metallic over the top, I think that would look absolutely amazing. Wow. Okay. So yeah, who was that said that? Each one is different. Yeah, Thea, it is, isn't it? So totally different. See, this is a little bit more pared back because it's got a bit less red in it. And I think I like it with a bit less red in the stamping, I mean. But yeah, absolutely loving the red glitter. Oh my God, absolutely love. Right, okay, I'm done. I will let you go. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, everyone, which is the right thing, I think it's this one. Don't forget, we've got the giveaway. So you can win. Oh, it's not working. Bear with me. Where am I? Not that one. Oh, my computer's not like it. Go to the website homepage. Hang on, I'm just seeing what everyone's saying now. Oh, you're all speaking now. Were you all mesmerised? I'm just trying to read some of your comments. Grey's for the background and then the colour on the letters, yeah, or vice versa. Using black, grey and white, then glitter. That would look amazing. Yeah, if you did grey and then your red joy, then yeah, it would. Or you could even do like a white sparkly joy or a silver sparkly. I don't think it matters what you would do. It'd just be stunning. But yeah, lovely. I can't get back to, my computer's hanging. So go to the main page of the website, click on the win tab at the top and enter the giveaway because you can win £25 worth of stash. I will pick, I can't remember when it runs out. Oh, hang on, I think the camera's just come back. Oh, where am I? Hey, there we are. It's gone again. It was not letting me click anything. It's just like hanging all the time. Sorry. Yeah, so don't miss that because there's not actually that many people that are entering each week. I think you're forgetting to do it. And last week I forgot to tell you. So there was only, I don't know, maybe 20 entries or something. So you've got a really good chance of winning if other people aren't entering. So all you literally have to do is put your email in and your name and address. It doesn't go to anyone else except for us. And we just draw the random winner. What was I going to say? Yeah, and it's a really secure way of doing it because we've been getting hacked on the giveaways and stuff on Facebook. So we're doing it this way now. So it's on the front page of the website. Right at the top, there's a little tab and it just says win. And you can just enter there. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. And I will definitely see you back next week. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a fun, crafty week. Thanks so much. See you soon. Bye.